This is All Things Nerd Production.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Kobolds In The Basement podcast. My name is Chad Hillson. I am your game manager. We are joined with Dave Morris,
Dishing out hits in this ballroom blitz. Caster Flamebeard.
Schaloan Dysland,
Went to the casino not to gamble, but found some ladies that like to ramble. Luminora.
and Steven Dysland.
Tevin's tossing glasses, and we're kicking asses. Valerian.
Perfect. So let's get into it. This is Kobolds In The Basement. Exactly. All right, now before we get started, let's do a quick recap of the last episode. So last session, our group was heading to the casino that crime boss Oldengarf hangs out and runs his business from. Tevin is clearly on edge the longer they are there, as the workers all stare at him like they know more than he does. As Cass mingles with workers and patrons alike, he learns that this place has been in operation for a couple of 100 years. Valerian gambles and keeps his head on a swivel, so much so on that swivel that he loses a good chunk of his change with those games. Luminora has been trying to keep Tevin calm and distracted while walking the casino floor with him, but eventually Tevin's frustration and anger get the best of him as he hurls a drink towards the boss's office, calling for Oldengarf to show himself and starting a skirmish on the floor with the workers. As the fight continues on, Oldengarf jumps down from the balcony to break up the fight and immediately goes from angry to confused as he looks at this tiefling before him and asks if it is really Tevin. And that's where we are now. Holy shit! Tevin, is that you? You see this giant red-skinned devil with dark eyes just holding a limp body from one of his imps, one of his workers in front of him, and looks around. How do you guys immediately react? Because Tevin clams up. He's like, ugh!
I imagine Cass is kind of like holding one of the imps. Like right here is just like one last punch to the face before dropping it.
Definitely just looking quickly back and forth between this guy and Tevin.
Well, I guess that answers that question. Yeah, that's Tevin.
What are you guys doing here?
That is a very, very long story.
Suddenly, Oldengarf straightens up a little bit, kind of like dusts himself off, cleans off some of the splattered blood of his employees' brains that he just smashed, looks around, ushers you guys into a side room to sit down at a table, away from patrons that are some scurried, some were like, oh, it's a Tuesday night, and they go back to their games. Other workers come out to replace and clean up some of the bodies, and, business as usual. So Oldengarf takes you into the side room, sits down around a table with you guys, and it's like, so you said it's a long story.
Yeah.
Start, and also, why is my son here?
So we were brought to this world by some kind of portal manifest zone, something like that, a few days ago, where we ran into Tevin shortly after. Looked like he had, for lack of a better way to put it, run away from home.
Oh.
And so we've been keeping him company, and he's been telling us what he knows about this place, since it looks a little like the place we came from, but is very different in many ways. And so we don't know where we are, to be honest, or when we are, depending on, how things happened since last we knew. And we've been trying to find our ways to places to get information and figure out what the heck happened. And Tevin's been, keeping us company and helping us out, and we've been keeping him safe. And when we got to this town, he, let us know that you were here, and we originally came in just trying to get, a little rest, a little information, and then, your, employees obviously recognized him. And then I think he, uncomfortableness got the better of him, and he started the melee.
Yeah, he gets that from me. I wish I could actually take credit for it. Haven't really been there. Kind of, and he like is Oldengarf is looking at Tevin, and he looks a little sad. He's like, I didn't want this life for him. You know, I have my nature and everything like that, but and his mother didn't want me around because of it. But it seems like despite my absence, he took some things from me. As to when you are, we're about 350 years after the day of mourning. But we're not on the normal plane.
So, let's see.
We're
50 years from your day of mourning, but you said we're not on your plane, like on our plane of existence.
No, we're during the war, the last war. A lot of the nations had safeguards in place, and the nation of Sire, they thought that if they had a group of their most powerful magic wielders and mages and clerics, that since they were landlocked, that if anything were to happen, that they could try and do like a plane shift to protect the innocent people. As I'm sure you've noticed if you've been here for a few days and have been traveling, you've seen bodies almost fossilized and ruins. It did not go perfectly on the day of mourning. A lot of people still don't know. I still don't know. I showed up a little bit afterwards, but some people were able to fill me in on this. They basically tried to plane shift the entire landmass of Sire to this pocket dimension in Kyber.
So we're in Kyber.
I mean, yes and no. We're in Sire, or what remains, but in a pocket dimension of Kyber.
But we're still only 350 days from the year of mourning, which means one good thing, guys, we didn't get time traveled. We only just got plane shifted.
Trippy.
The weird thing about this place is that you can't just plane shift in and out. There's several portals that take you to either different pocket dimensions, the astral plane, back to the mortal plane. But you can't.
That one. How do we find that one?
I know of a couple of portals. I can check with some of my more trusted advisors to know exactly which one to go to. But it might take some time. But what's interesting is that how you guys got here.
Well,
Because we have people checking out multiple of the known portals. We don't know which ones go where 100%, and no one mentioned any people coming through.
the one we came through wasn't stable. It collapsed shortly after we came through. There were some individuals, I believe, who are back up on, well, if we're in Kyber, kind of not. We're kind of still on the sort of near the material plane, but up on the main material plane, they were messing around with stuff. They were Dalkir, who were, I think, up to something and probably trying to bring in reinforcements and stuff from other planes. And so that unstable one might have been their attempt to bring in people.
As you mentioned the Dalkir, if all three of you can give me a perception check.
I can do that.
That is a 2.
9.
2, 9, and an 11. you say you mentioned the Dalkir, and you notice that Oldengarf kind of like looks like more directly with eye contact, but you don't get any sort of sense as to why he reacted to that. And he goes on. He's like, there's been unfortunately over the passing years more people trying to find ways in and out to use this as kind of a passage. And not gonna lie, it's been good for business. You know, offering protection, getting rich. That's been nice. But, you know, they say I'm a devil, but really I just like money and I like doing things that I want to do. I don't like taking advantage of the people that are here by no choice of their own, born into this life. I say that as I brought a child into this life, and think that's probably why his mother didn't want me around. Again, Tevin's just sitting there, just quiet, a little bit of a shake and a tremble in him as he's just taking all this in. And Oldengarf goes, but I don't like to take advantage of helpless people. No. What's that?
There's one other thing I find really odd.
Yeah.
And that we noticed is that down here, if it is really down, it's just the reference I have, there's this black stuff that comes from the trees and heads up towards the sky. And we saw something looks kind of similar back up on the surface.
Yeah. You must be talking about what we've come to know as the Blythe.
The Blythe.
Yeah. That's the stuff. It's we're trying to figure out what the heck they're doing with it up there.
Well, up there it seemed like they were dumping it into the water. But here it rises in the sky.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, we've encountered it before. We've had people be corrupted by it. It's nasty.
What is this corruption? Can you describe that for me?
A little bit of mindlessness. It also very much depends on the individual and how willing they seem to be towards the substance. For example, one of my used to be very trusted lieutenants, we just called him Franny. He wanted to be in charge. And so he sought out this stuff. And it has not affected him as much as it has affected some random people that just encounter it.
I just give Caster just like a quick little glance to the side.
Give me a deception check.
Ooh, I'm hopefully good at these. 13?
Oldengarf rolled a 19 and
But
looks
keep
at
being a
Valerian and
13.
goes, what was that? You just like gave him a look. What was that?
He smells funny, in case you haven't noticed.
Honestly, smells better than a lot of people down here.
I said funny, not bad.
Give me another deception check.
17.
He goes, okay. Weird that you like did that in the middle of like me talking, but like, okay. And he
ADD. I know, sorry.
So you're saying this Blythe stuff almost brings out the worst or strongest impulses in somebody?
Oh, yeah. More or less, with like their desires, for whether it's power, strength, anything like that. But depending on from what we've seen is, if you can resist it, it sometimes goes your way. Otherwise, it gets stronger. But if you just kind of go with it and let it do what it does, with Franny, for example, he's kind of like, he's taken a lot of my good enforcers and workers and convinced them to follow him instead. But he doesn't seem as mindless as some others that we've seen that just turn into sludge. I don't fully understand it. We've been trying to, but anytime we get close to an idea of what it might be, it seems like we're proven wrong as to what our ideas are.
That sounds like Franny's causing you a lot of problems.
He is. And there was one thing I wanted to actually ask you all since you're here, and it seems like I do notice a couple of scars on my son's handsome face. He gets his good looks from his mother, not from me. But it seems like he's learning to fight, and if you guys are protecting him, I can only call it intuition, but want to trust you to do what's right, because you're helping such an innocent and good-hearted boy.
He is a very good boy.
Would you be willing, while we try and figure out which portal will get you home, help find Franny and stop him, recover some things that he's stolen from us? It's mostly gold. I will pay. I'm not cheap. Would you be willing to help with that? He seems to, anytime we get close to finding him, he seems to disappear, and we don't know where he's going. But he is setting loose these monsters on civilizations, and I've only been able to do so much since he's taken some of my strongest people.
Seems like a fair proposition. You help us get us home, and we help you with this problem while keeping Tevin safe. What do you two think?
I'm sorry, quick. I just now noticed the icon for this guy. Sorry, that made me laugh so hard.
Does the voice make sense now?
Yeah. Thought you sounded like John Goodman for a while. Sorry. Okay.
I think that's acceptable.
I do have a question for you, though.
Yeah, what is
Before I
it?
can agree to this. On the way in here, we ran into some other of your employees. Said they were out doing a job for you. They didn't have any specifics for me. It's a little too late for them to talk now, but I need to know more about that.
Well, then you have to tell me more about that, because I have people doing jobs all over the place, gathering intel, giving money to those that need it, trying to squash people that are out to get me. I need
There
more,
are two
more,
people
more
coming
details.
into town in a covered wagon. They didn't tell me really anything. They said they had names on a list, and they were just meant to go rough them up.
Yeah, they also looked like they had acquired some items that were fairly useful. It looks like some kind of potions and some other stuff. And if I remember correctly, they said they were supposed to just grab these two people, but somehow they ended up killing them instead.
Oh, which road? Which way did you guys come from? Did you come from the east or the west?
I believe and this is just how we came in from the east. Yeah, we came from the east.
East, yeah. Exactly, yep.
Oh, so was it you came across two of my enforcers, or was it more?
I think it was two.
Right?
It was three.
Three.
It's three.
Three.
Felt like two, though.
Okay. Chances are it was. Some of us have very uncommon names that a lot of people can't understand. So, it was probably Jerry and Ben and Ted. They were sent out to try and find Franny, but also try and find some others that went to go and work for him.
They certainly found somewhere. Not too far out to the east there, you'll find a bloodied up wagon and some
Well, the one might still be there.
low-hanging branches.
Oldengarf stands up, almost like he's angry, just puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, "Oh, been there. And then while he does that, he looks down at your feet and sees those crusty boots and goes, "Oh, yeah, you can keep those. They'll be good in case you have to jump from a not such a low-hanging branch." Yeah, that was definitely Jerry and Ben and their friend Ted, who was trying to find information on Franny. So, unfortunately, a bit saddened that Ted, Ben, and Jerry are all gone, if what you're saying is true, that you left them behind, but they knew what the job entailed. But I'm glad that if there were dead bodies in that wagon, that means that there's less out there to harm the people.
Well, sorry, but it was very incriminating.
Alright.
I get it.
So, obviously, we're gonna agree to this deal. And Valerian, are you okay with this arrangement?
I can be for now.
Alright. Then, obviously, we're gonna need a place to start to try to look for Franny. And I don't know how. What time of day is it? Roughly, like.
Early morning. Because you got to the casino, probably around just after dinner time. You mingled for a little bit, started this fight, and have been having this conversation. It's probably around midnight at this point in time, local standard time.
So we probably need a place to start looking. Maybe catch some rest. I don't know. We've been traveling all day, and get started at first light, and go from there.
Do you have a, I don't know, potions master or something around anywhere? Know of one in the vicinity?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the main bartender out there. I guess it was pretty quickly. You guys didn't kill that one, did you?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I tried once. I think he dodged it.
That's her. Even if he's a little bit injured, he'll still do what I ask of him. He's actually fantastic with potions, making potions. That's why he's behind the bar. Some people come in asking for crazy shit. What? Are you needing something?
I have a few things. I don't know what they are, but I don't dare try them out until I do.
Okay. Yeah, we can have him take a look at that. I mean, you guys can definitely rest here until the morning. Last that we heard, Franny was going southwest from here. But we can definitely get you guys pointed in the right path. I'll consult with some of my other workers if they've heard more updates. Can't get you an exact map if they're constantly moving, but we can at least get you pointed in the right direction.
That's all we need.
All right.
I mean, I'm guessing from what you're describing, he's probably trying to set up his own place to operate out of, and doesn't want to go too far because then he's just sitting on his own. He doesn't have access to the town.
Yeah, and I have noticed that with some people that are more leaning towards, taking in this Blythe for its power, they tend. It seems like they talk to themselves a lot. So, but it seems like two-sided conversations, but out of the same mouth. So I wouldn't put it past Franny if he just found a different boss that promised him something unreachable compared to what I could do.
Read.
Well, you guys, I'll have some of my workers show you to some rooms. You guys can get settled, get yourselves cleaned up. If you want to talk to that potion master, you definitely can. If I could have a few minutes to speak with my son here and do my best to explain why I was so shitty to him, that would be nice.
Are you cool with that, Tevin?
Yeah, I think he owes it to me.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
I mean,
one of us. I mean,
can I leave Sir Edgar here? Just if you need anything, just he'll find me.
Yeah. And then you see Oldengarf stand up and punch a hole in the wall so that Sir Edgar can perch there, so he can fly in between if he needs to. He's like, as a sign of good faith, I'll have someone fix that in the morning. Yeah, I think that's fair. You guys have been looking after him.
Honestly, you can just make a nice little window out of it. Just frame it. And it's a good spot.
Oh, yeah, maybe like stained glass, but like on a swivel. So you can still pass stuff between in the future.
I love that idea.
I do too. That's a good idea.
If this gambling and the crime boss thing doesn't really work out for you, you could always try interior design.
You know what? I like the way you think. Plan B's, probably Plan C's. Yeah, smart kid.
Always a contingency, my friend.
Well, Valerian, I think I'm going to accompany you over to the potion master, bartender man.
I just hold out my arm. This way, my lady.
Would you sweep me away?
if you need anything, Tevin, just call for us. We won't be far.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think I'm okay, based on how that fight ended so abruptly. I think that I'm safe here.
We're gonna come back and Oldengarf's gonna be dead.
Well, I think if Oldengarf wanted us, Daddy would have already done it.
Well, I don't mean to brag, but I could have done some things.
I mean, can I get a sense of like what kind of devil or demon he is?
Would that be a religion check?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Go for it.
Oh, why not?
You know
That's
that
a-
he looks like a devil with
Yeah,
nat 1.
that goes to a 0.
Yeah, that goes to a 0. A natural 0 on a 1 to 20 die. But yeah, so Tevin sits down across the table from Oldengarf. You know, they close the door behind you. There's just one imp worker standing outside the door. He's basically just there in case anyone needs something. You know, it doesn't look like he's standing guard. He's not holding any weapons or anything. And then
When I leave the office, I just say hi to Saddam for me.
oh yeah, that's fun.
And no podcast listener will understand why.
Some might. Some might.
For reference, his token looks like
Yeah. South
Satan
Park.
from South Park.
I thought it would be funny.
It is funny.
All right. So where is everyone going from there? So Luminora and Valerian, you're heading up to the bar
Mm-hmm.
to speak to the bartender / potion master. Cass, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go with them.
Okay.
I mean, we kind of know what I'm holding, but we technically never got it identified.
Yeah, which one is you?
Nobody in our group has that spell.
Yeah.
Yet.
All right. So, you know, the bartender's like, "Hey, how's it going? That was crazy." And then he looks at Valerian and goes, "You shot at me."
But he didn't hit you.
Yeah, I missed on purpose. If that makes you feel any better.
Not really. I was very scared. But you know, here we are. The boss seems to be okay with you, so who am I to disagree? Because you can see clearly what he did to some other people that did, with just one hand and their skull. What can I do for you? You need post-fight drinks? Like, what are you looking for?
Can you tell me what this is? And I set down one of the bottles of like the glowy orangey liquid that we kind of know what it is, but you know, officially don't.
That's right. You do have some actual potions of that as well. He just looks at it and goes,
I pull out all 3 of mine and lay them out. And these.
well, let's start with the orangey red swirly ones. And he just kind of like pretends to do something, but you just know that he knows exactly what it is. Yeah, it's a potion of fire breath.
That could be useful, especially against some of those blight things we've run into.
Yeah, they really don't like fire. They sizzle. It
Yeah,
smells terrible. And that's coming from me. I've smelled hell.
I don't have access to fire otherwise, so all right. Figure out what he does, and then I might have another question after you look at his potions.
Yeah, Mr. Shooty Guy.
That's what they call me.
So you have the green
gray
swirly one and the black and palish gray one, right?
I have
You
one
said
that's
3,
gray
though.
and glowing. I have a dark green, and one that I have listed only as another weird vial.
Well, that's a really weird vial, man.
It's probably the dark green one.
Okay. You know, he's looking over them. He casts, you know, identify. Also, he pops it open, kind of takes a whiff, and he's like, "Okay, so these 2 green ones with the swirls, with where it's like multiple greens swirled all together. Those are potion vials of poison potion vials. Sorry."
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Potion of poison. They seem a little weak though. Might have been not made by the best of makers there. So they are potions of poison. they last for only 10 minutes versus an hour.
Fair enough.
Um,
What about this great one here? What do you think of that?
oh, yeah. Yep. Again, he starts looking at it, examining it, and he says, you know, this one right here is a potion of blindness. Again, this does seem a little bit weak compared to others, and it's actually a potion of blindness and deafness. Nope, that's a spell. That's not the potion.
Yeah.
Potion of blindness. It lasts, since this one's a little bit weak. It lasts for about 30 minutes. To whoever ingests it, to where they can't see anything. So for any sort of checks that would require eyesight or attacks or anything like that, they are 100% at disadvantage.
I added the 2 poisons, but you'll have to drop it to me sometime. That one, the blindness one.
Okay.
Yes, I actually have a potion too, sir, if you would not mind. Just one, and I hand over a lava lamp-looking potion.
That's another potion of fire breath.
Sweet. Can I give it to Cass?
You guys are just full of hot air.
Honestly,
Can I just like slide it down the bar to Cass?
well, I catch it and be like, do either of you have access to fire readily?
We do not.
I believe I do.
Because if that blight stuff is vulnerable to fire, I think we should all have access to at least some kind of fire.
Yes, I do.
I do not.
Alright. Then I slide it the rest of the way down to Valerian. Here, this way, if we run into a bunch of that stuff, we can start chugging these things and spitting fire at them. And then I'll look at the bartender, and I don't think I caught your name last time I got a drink.
You can just call me Frank.
Alright, Frank. What can you tell me about Franny?
Old Franny or newer Franny?
The one who's causing trouble.
Bad Franny.
He's a dick. Yeah, you know, he didn't like just being second in command. He didn't like how Oldengarf didn't take advantage of people just because he could. You know, Franny wanted to take everything that he could from people and force them into fearing him, so that he could have power. Where Oldengarf just wanted, he's kind of like an old school gangster, you know, like.
Yeah, Oldengarf strikes me more as just the pure greed kind of guy versus malice.
Yeah. He kind of like looks around to make sure no one's listening. He's like, he is a little greedy, but you know, he takes care of people. He's accommodating, you know, even when guests are here, if they're losing a lot but aren't able to make it home safely, he offers them discounted rooms or free rooms even. You know, he'll bring food and stuff like that to nearby villages and towns to make sure people aren't starving. But, you know, he wants to get his money too. I mean, he's a businessman. It's just not the best place to run charity.
Yeah, makes sense. So, if we were going to go try to find Franny, is there anybody else we should look for or anything we should know to try to help that might make it easier to find him?
Well, it depends on, you know, if you're going through the towns to try and find him, or based on what some of the other information might be if he's going away from towns. If you're going away from towns, you want to look for not heavily traveled roads, but still enough to where it looks like some like carts and horses could get through. And he usually travels fairly light, maybe a dozen people when he's in between locations. Usually not even that many people, but and he usually travels with a couple of carriages. So if you find a caravan with a few carts and a few horses. Just know that he usually has some strong fighters, a couple of casters, but also don't underestimate Franny.
All right, that's very helpful. I think we're gonna go try to find him in the morning, and in exchange, your boss is gonna try to help us get back to where we came from, which is apparently we're from the surface / material plane.
Okay, yeah. I don't know which portal it is, but there's a few fairly stable portals. One just kind of takes you into like weird pocket places, but there's one I've never needed to go. I like my job. I like getting paid to be here. But yeah.
Being shot at.
What was that?
Being shot at.
Well, that doesn't happen as frequently. And he looks at Valerian again and goes,
I squint.
Being shot at is better than being shot, though.
You got some beef now.
I guess if you want to argue semantics, you're right. All right. Anything else that you guys would like to do?
I think I am good for the evening.
Unless there's a smithy or something.
No, there's not. You're in a casino.
I assumed.
No, I'm good.
You don't make any kind of potions, do you, Frank?
I can do some. What are you looking for?
I'm anything that might help me be a little sneakier or quieter. If we're gonna try to find Franny, me and my this armor is a little loud, so anything that might make it easier.
You do have that cloak.
Yeah, the cloak's not very good though for me. So things that might make it harder to spot me, or things like that.
Let me see what I can do. Sorry for the interruption, dear heroes, but I just have to ask. Are you like me and my friends, where your food tends to be lacking just a little something extra? If you are, then look no further than Crybaby Craig's hot sauce to fix all of your spicy and saucy needs. Because this pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce will go on practically anything. It was started by Craig himself in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, and this sauce has become a staple of all hot sauces and flavor enhancers across the lands for many, many moons. If you don't believe me, go and check out crybabycraigs.com and order yours today to, quite frankly, just better your life. Or at least your taste buds. But be sure to let them know that we sent you and enjoy the best damn hot sauce there is. Now, let's get back to the show. And then you said that you have a cloak?
I think your favorite person over there has it.
Oh, it's just a very sneaky cloak. That's all I have it listed as.
Let me look at it and let me see what I can do. Come find me in the morning before you guys take off.
Dramatically removes the cloak. Like Snape from Harry Potter. Hand it to him.
That was a bit much, bud, but I get it.
Then let's go see about our rooms.
Okay.
When in Tiber.
Yeah, so you guys definitely, they offer you 3 different rooms. Again, how do I send, in the chat for people about what Potion of Fire Breath is? Because I have it pulled up.
Well, yeah, we can just search it in the compendium.
Yeah, I did, but it doesn't have an option to, send it or share.
Oh, I think you gotta kind of, drag it so it's in the journal first.
Oh.
Drag it onto the map, and then it pops up in the journal.
Show to players. Show to everyone. There you go.
Yeah, and then you can share with everyone.
Yep. So it should be in your journal now.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah,
You
so
get
you
3
guys...
uses of each one.
You get 3 blasts out of it before, yeah.
Or an hour, yeah.
Yeah, 3 shots or an hour before it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I remember when Steve had that. He used one, and never used another one.
yeah, well, it's nice though because it's also 30 feet of range.
And you can use that as a bonus action to shoot.
That's the really nice part.
So how do you know, like, if you exhale? Oh, I see. Never mind.
Yeah, you're basically spitting a ball of fire at somebody.
Yeah, I just misread it. I was like, wait, how do you track if you exhale 3 times? But then, yeah. Okay. Bring fire.
Yeah. You like choose.
Yeah, so do you want one of those, Luminora? Just as a easier way to deal some fire in a pinch.
Sure, why not?
Alright, because I have 4 of them.
Yeah, you should have 4.
Yeah, so I'll give you 1, so I'll have 3.
That is fire.
Because as of right now, I don't think... Well, if I change my prepared spells, I could get access to fire, I think. But not the best kind. Not, like, consistently.
Perfect. Yeah. So you guys all get your own rooms for the night. You take a rest. All right. So you guys wake up in the morning feeling nice and refreshed. You know, some of you may have tranced. You may have looked over your spells to change some things out, knowing that you're going on a little bit of a hunt for a bad man named Franny. That was hard to say. So as you get up in the morning, what are you guys wanting to do before you head out?
Should probably go check on Tevin.
Yeah. As you step out of your rooms, you know, there's nothing really going on in the hallway, but you hear a little bit of commotion downstairs. You come down the stairs, you see Tevin and his father and a couple of the workers are sitting around a table off to the side, not directly on the casino floor. You know, they're having tea, some breakfast. There's some food and stuff set aside for you as well. And Tevin seems to be in a much, much lighter mood. Oh, hey guys.
Hey, buddy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, we're gonna go find this guy?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it seems like the best thing, but at least now, after talking to, well, for lack of a better term, your dad, now we know where we are and when. So that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm sure that was very confusing for you guys, because I've lived here my whole life, but you guys came here and were thrown into this. I'm glad you got some answers.
It's been a hoot.
Jagger in the background just looks at you, shakes his head no. Then whoo, and flies away.
That's my boy.
All right. Any last minute things you guys want to do before you pack up and get on your way?
No, I think we're all good.
Oh, sorry. Is the bartender guy around?
Yes. He's back behind the bar. You see that he looks like he's got some bags under his eyes. Like maybe he didn't sleep that well. Like he was up extra late working on some cloak.
Yep, we should.
Yeah, I want to nudge Valerian. Hey, Valerian.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bar.
My guy. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you finished that cloak. Did you was able to do anything with that by chance?
I mean, looking at it, I couldn't do a whole lot to it because it already had some enchantments on it. But I just kind of reinforced those enchantments so that it could benefit anyone with them.
Fair enough.
That'll be handy. You want to find anything, a potion or anything that might help me?
Well, I kind of was very much focused on the cloak. So what it can do is it helps cover the sound of whatever's underneath it. So basically what this cloak does is it provides advantage on stealth rolls and is a +1 to stealth. So if Cass wanted to use it, he would no longer be rolling at disadvantage and have a +1 to his rolls.
Very nice.
If anyone else wanted to use it, they would roll with advantage with a +1.
Attunement or no, not attunement?
Not attunement, it's just enchanted. Ready to go.
We like that.
So he sets it on the bar, slides it over. He's like, "Sorry, after respectfully, you guys shot at me and or one of you shot at me and a couple of my coworkers died. I didn't have a lot of time to do much more except for work on this one item.
That's fine.
Apologize.
No. It's all right. The important thing is you're alive.
It feels wrong with you being the one to say that, but yes, you're right."
Well, I appreciate your hard work. And let's go find this guy.
All right.
Oh, as before I get to the door, I like take a few silvers and like strap them up to a bolt and shoot it towards the guy, but like at the wall, not like at him, just at the wall.
He ducks. Everybody turns and looks at you, and Oldengarf goes, "Come on, man."
I just smile and wave.
Before we head out, should we check with Oldengarf to see if he had a different update apart from Southwest?
Can't hurt to ask.
Yeah, he provides you with a crude map of going southwest, but a couple of different like split off roads that aren't super well traveled, that kind of all lead in that same direction. And he's like, I'm sorry. This is what we were able to get overnight. You'll have to basically keep a lookout to see if there's fresh tracks on some of these. It should take you the better part of a day to catch up if they're resting.
This should work beautifully. Thank you, Oldengarf.
I look at the map, and is there any kind of like mountains or indications of like mountains or old towns or anything in that southwest direction?
Not really. I mean, it's a very crude looking map. Yeah, not a lot is sticking out to you.
Alright, well, if we see mountains or something, or look for like abandoned towns or houses, he's gotta, probably hide up somewhere.
Alright.
Unless he's just gonna keep himself mobile in that caravan.
Well, we think that he has some sort of hideout that's even further south. So it seems like he might be going that way. We've never been able to find it, so it's not like in a town or anything. Maybe some sort of cavern or something.
Yeah, that was my thinking. Keep an eye out for it. See if there's any place that might make a good hiding place.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Onward.
You guys head out, start making your way southwest. This isn't the most fair of maps to be using because we are in Kyber, sort of
You said we're kind of in like a
Underdark. Yeah.
no, like we're in like what used to be Sire because it got transported.
But like a kind of like a pocket dimension. So basically where you guys are coming from is right around here on the map. Maybe a little bit further south, kind of in between Lake Sire and the Crimson Water. And things that the map is saying, kind of head this way. So you start making your way throughout the day. Is there any specific conversations that you're wanting to have? Are you just focused on trying to move?
I just want to ask Tevin how he's doing.
That's about it.
Surprisingly, really well, and I feel quite naive for how good I feel about after talking with my dad. But he put some things into perspective. It's not that he didn't want to be there. According to him, my mom didn't want him there. because of what it might look like to the others. A big old devil. There might be some truth to it. I don't know, but I don't know. He just seemed very genuine and sorry for the life that I've had, or the treatment that I got from my mom for being who I am, because I guess he's been sending her a lot of money over the years, which is why she never works, but somehow we always have food and a house, and I just never thought about that.
Oh, good, I'm glad.
He just didn't want me to be around this part of his life.
Well, I get that, but it sounds like from one of the stuff you've told us about, you being when you were growing up and people being afraid of you anyway, it might not have been that bad if you'd been here, because as far as, what I normally hear about demons or devils, he's a lot more laid back than most of them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think much about that. I think I was just kind of in shock that he wasn't mad that I was mad, and that he knew about me and my life. I might have been a little gullible and soaked up the too good to be true sort of thing, but it
happens, buddy. You're still young.
Could have been nice to grow up in a place where I wasn't scary to look at.
Yeah, well, at least you found out, and now you know, and you get to choose what you want to do next.
Yeah, and I'm where I choose. I'm right here with you guys. I want to help.
All right. Well, now we just gotta find this Franny guy. So I guess we should probably start looking for trails, not too worn out trails, nothing main road kind of stuff, and get an idea of where we want to go.
Yeah. So as the day goes on,
send J. Edgar to fly Overwatch.
Okay. So with that, I do need a group, either survival or nature check. You can choose what you roll. With Jagger above you, you can have the advantage. We need a total of 30.
I got a 22 on survival.
So we've got 36.
You passed. You passed this first one.
52.
So you start noticing as you're moving along some side roads and stuff like that look like they're freshly traveled but not heavily traveled. So you kind of are able to navigate through that while looking over this crude map that was pretty much hand drawn by some casino workers.
So with my really high survival roll there, can I tell how many wagons we're looking at, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So you see several individual tracks. You can't tell if it is 4 or 5 wagons, but either 4 or 5 wagons, pulled by a couple of horse. A couple of the wagons are pulled just by 1 horse. A couple of the wagons are pulled by 2 horses.
All right, this definitely looks kind of like the convoy they were describing, or caravan. Multiple wagons, at least 4. So this is definitely fits what they were telling us about how they move around. So probably our best bet to follow these.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So as you guys,
somebody should probably make sure we're not being followed just to be safe.
Yeah.
I'll have J. Edgar kind of just make big circles around us.
You can give me a perception check then.
18s.
Yeah, with an 18, you don't notice that anyone is really following you. It seems like the roads have been fairly barren, or not barren, but you haven't really seen anyone since you got off of any sort of main road. Before that, it was just vendors going from town to town, nothing of interest, and no one seems to be following you.
Perfect. I think we're good, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, so then the day is going on. You guys still discussing anything else or anything like that? Or you've had the little conversation that you wanted, and now you're just focusing on tracking.
I don't know about you guys, but I am relieved to finally know where and when we are.
Still crazy that
Well,
dude just made a portal.
well,
It just sent us into
Powerful.
another dimension.
well, that's how I got back to this planet or plane when I was in the Astral Sea. As a shipmate was a powerful druid and was able to plane shift me back here. So whoever was trying to make it was pretty powerful and probably trying to make a permanent one.
You're a druid?
Powerful, I don't think I am. Not that powerful.
Give it time.
So just wait a
Give
few
yourself
years and
give yourself some credit.
you can plane shift us right out of here.
That'd be very convenient.
All right, as you guys keep going on, I'm going to need a second either survival or nature check. This time for the group is going to be a DC 40 as a total.
8.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Well,
even if I rolled a natural 20, it wouldn't get us over 40 since.
Nat 20s count as double, right?
Well, but you still have Jagger flying overhead, do you not?
You did.
Yeah. So he would have. So you would have an
you
18.
get that 18.
Woo!
But then my double 22s again.
I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have reminded you of, your assistance.
But that's double 22s. That's double natural 19s.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing good. Just still trucking along. You come across to a couple different forks in the road where you kind of notice where the caravan kind of splits, or doesn't split, but where it deviates from the main road onto another side road, things like that. You've kind of been traveling for, pretty close to a full day. It's about sundown at this point in time, as you've just kind of been making your way, having small little banter, little chats here and there. As the sun's coming down, you do notice these caravan trails split off onto a even more hidden trail. Still wide enough for these carriages to go. You do see some smoke coming out from the tree lines, stuff like that. You hear some voices hushed in the distance and things like that. With it being sundown, you can only assume that they've stopped for the day. How do you wish to approach?
Seems like we might have caught up with them.
Do you want me to, maybe I can send Jay to go overhead, see if we can get a idea of what we're dealing with here. How many we're dealing with.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
So as you send Jagger over, you can just see directly through his eyes. You don't have to roll for anything like that, correct?
Yeah, he kind of goes, he kind of just blanks out on us, but then he gets to see and hear through the owl.
Okay. So as he's flying over, it's just a little ways down the road. Actually a pretty short jaunt. It's kind of just in a small clearing in the woods. Jagger, as he's flying over, he sees 5 carriages with horses still attached, with a bonfire in the middle. Couple of tents set up, things like that. Do you wish to have him look closer?
Just to get a possible head count. Just close enough.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Be using J. Edgar stats, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from Jagger stats.
Yeah, just gotta pull that up. I didn't have that up. Yeah.
He's got a +3 to stealth. That's not bad.
Just gonna have to roll a d20 and then
Add 3.
yeah, he doesn't have it. Thing for it.
That's not good.
That's no bueno. That's a 5. Woot woot.
I'm so sorry. A 14 hit, Jagger.
I mean, kind of.
Yep.
What's his max hit point?
1.
I'm not gonna full on kill Jagger because I love you, but certainly,
you don't. He just kind of
Yeah, he just
poofs and is unsummoned. he doesn't die. He's just returned to whatever.
Oh, that's right. He's not an actual animal.
He's not an actual owl. He's a.
Yep. Suddenly, just
Yeah.
you snap out of it. Jagger is no longer around. And now you hear some chatter because someone thought that they were shooting an owl to try and cook something over the fire, and it turned into smoke.
Well, if they could see how the owl turned into dust.
Yeah, that's a perception check.
That's fine. It was a natural 19 on the dice for that one.
Okay.
They hear and then they hear their arrow hit the tree behind it, and nothing falls. So now they just seem confused. They're not immediately alerted. And during that point in time, all Jagger saw was that there were two people. One of them had a crossbow that was near a fire in the middle. That's about all he got. That's about all you got from seeing through his eyes before that all happened. And I'm sorry.
Well, well, I mean, this might be a good opportunity for me to test out that cloak and see how well we can sneak up on them.
I'll take point.
All right. So you guys are gonna sneak up on them?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like sneak up and see what we can see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll go to not like the far end, but just spaced out enough, maybe 20, 30 feet away from Cass and Luminora.
All right. So then what we will do here is that we are going to drag you onto this map. You should
All
see
right,
the
so
little-
before we start sneaking, Chad, I am going to use my channel divinity for Ancestors Recall.
Remind me what that does again?
I can choose a skill or language or tool and temporarily have expertise in it.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give myself expertise in stealth,
So then you will be rolling,
normally with +6.
but then the cloak gives you an additional +1. And
Yeah, so, but I have a -1 normally, so it's it's my normal stealth roll +7 effectively.
okay. And instead of taking the disadvantage, you'll take the higher of the two.
I would take the first one because it offsets my disadvantage.
Yep, you're right. You
Yeah, so I
are
take the
right.
first roll, but I have a +7 to it. Well, I have expertise with it.
If everyone can start in this reddish circle, because that's where the opening comes from. All right. Oh, I should probably put Tevin on there, huh?
Just make myself as stealthy as possible.
He's still with you guys.
And Chad probably did not realize I could do that.
I forgot. Kind of regretting giving me that cloak. All right.
Well, I could have offset the disadvantage another way too.
Of course, you could have. You're just better at this than I am.
DMs make the best and / worst players.
All right. So from where you're at, you do see one person. His back is turned to you, but everyone give me a stealth check.
And
10.
All right, so I got
A 10 with a nat one. That's impressive.
So I've got a 19
nice.
because I take the first roll and then I add 7 to it. So
Yeah.
ironically, Cass is the stealthiest of all.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that dude immediately hears everyone else coming up because he had a 17 on his perception roll. Or that was just his passive perception. So as you start coming up, Cass, you've never been quieter in your life. You're sneaking. You feel like your feet aren't even touching the ground. You're just hovering. You're like, what is this? I've never been so quiet in my life. Can you imagine if I had this ability when I was 10 years old? And then you think to yourself, even better, I have it now. And
Yeah.
you're just floating around.
So one thing, so the way I kind of envision it is like Cass like just kind of places his hand on his family crest that's on his shield, and kind of chants a little, and you see like normally when Cass does his spells and stuff, you see like a little bit of like a yellowish white glow. But this time when I do that, you see the glow, but there's also like little bits of almost like black lightning in there too.
You're floating around quiet as a mouse, and then everyone else is just like, he's so quiet, we must be just as quiet. Everyone just like stomping on leaves, stepping on twigs, just suddenly this guy turns around. He yells out to everyone that there's intruders, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Let me see a team.
What the hell?
It's an 11.
That's a 7.
7.
Oh, there's the turn. Okay.
If I do this right.
Yep, that went through.
17.
Okay, so so hang on, I just have to add for these. Okay, and then wrong way. Okay, so as you are noticed, suddenly they a couple of them throw, whether it's wine or something, ale, something that's flammable onto the fire, so it lights up the space a little bit more. You start seeing a couple others come running out from sorry, Dave just texted me, you're welcome. Jumping out from tents, a couple of them hopping out from their wagons. They're trying to quickly make sure that the horses are all reattached. But go ahead and you strike first, Luminara.
So first question, we don't know who these people are, right? Like, we haven't confirmed anything.
Nope, but they all drew swords.
And they shot J. Edgar.
And they shot J. Edgar, yeah.
They shot my fucking owl.
Sorry.
Do I have to attack?
They shot my fucking owl.
They thought it was dinner, let's be fair.
You don't have to attack. You can ready an action or, I don't know, try and talk to them. But they're trying to get out of there in a hurry while also having weapons drawn.
Okay. I'm just gonna use Chill Touch on the guy right in front of us.
Okay.
Ooh,
27 to hit.
with a nat 20.
Double nat 20s.
Yeet.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely hits, so go ahead and roll for damage.
So is that 16?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Nicely done.
Whoa. Okay, so then that is going
Came out swinging.
to be a couple of their turns. The one that just got smoked by that, I'm going to move them first. He is going to run up to you, Luminara. But before I actually do his attacks, then this guy is going to hop into one of the wagons. That guy's going to jump into a different one of the wagons. And then he's going to swing his sword on you. I'm assuming that a 7 does not hit.
It does not.
Cool. Yeah, so then he swings. That's about all that he has. The other ones have gotten into the wagons. They're getting everything situated. Then that is going to be this other set of people here.
Can I use my Halo Spores on the guy that came up to us?
Yeah.
Like to me? Okay.
Yeah, that's a reaction. What's the con save?
15? 15.
Well, he fails, so that was a 10. So what does he take for damage now? 4?
Yep, it's still a d4, so.
Okay.
It's spores, bitch.
He's looking very, very not great. Not quite on death's door, but from a second ago, He just looks so sick. Just like unbridled illness.
I love it.
So, all of the guys that are holding bows or crossbows is going to hop into their wagons. What is the range for a heavy crossbow gun? Is that 60?
Really, really far.
Really, really far. Sweet.
For a heavy crossbow has like outranges a longbow.
What about just a regular crossbow?
Like a light one, it's still got like a short range of 80.
Oh, I'm thinking
Short
of hand crossbows that are like super short range.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this one right over here is going to just take a shot also at Luminara. I apologize, but with that, I'm assuming that an 11 does not hit.
It does not.
Cool. Cool. All the other ones they're just readying actions, getting. I know that on the map it doesn't show that there's horses, but we're going to pretend that there is. Getting everything ready to go. They're just kind of leaving a lot of their minor camp things, like they're not packing up the tables, bothering to put out the fire, grabbing sleeping bags, whatever, or even some of the tents that are up. But they're getting ready to go. And then from there, that is going to be Tevin, who is just going to, just from where he is just going to shoot a crossbow at the one dude that's just right there with his little light crossbow. But he misses. He was trying to aim it just perfectly between where Valerian was and Luminora was to get the guy in between. Not quite right. Zips off into the night. And then that is going to be Valerian. That is your turn.
Hey, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Okay. I say then his thing. I'm going to use my what's it called? My cunning action to disengage with this guy, since I'm technically in his thing there, just to come up to between some of these wagons, and I'm gonna cast. Hopefully here, I'm gonna cast sleep on the wagons to try to put the horses to sleep so they can't get out of here.
Okay.
So 23 hit points of sleep. So it starts with the lowest, which I assume is probably going to be the horses.
Say that last bit again. I didn't.
It starts like at the lowest, like it.
The creature with the lowest hit points would be the first to fall asleep.
Correct. Thank you.
What? And it's
like a 20-foot circle. So I figure I can at least get 2.
yeah, and it's a total of 100 hit points.
23.
Yeah, just a 23.
23. Oh, yeah. You notice that one of the horses just drops unconscious. The other one kind of stumbles, not looking fully awake. But yeah, you do get one of the horses unconscious there. And then from there, now it is the horses on the buggy's turn. They're going to take off. Basically from here, the one that is, this one right here is the one that fell asleep. So this wagon takes off. This one takes a little bit of time to get turned around. This one starts going, and this one is picking up the rear. But they are making their way. And then that is going to be the caster's turn. I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't have jumped that quickly. Valerian, did you have any like bonus actions or anything that you were trying to do?
No, you're good.
Cool. Good, because I already described how they reacted. Otherwise, I would have felt like such a dick. Yeah, but then, Cass, that is your turn.
Alright, so have these these 2 wagons to like the north of me, have they pulled away, or are they just like getting ready?
They have started to pull away. I'm just going to move the token for where where that guy is about the back of the wagon.
What about the other northern war wagon?
They're kind of like over here.
Alright, so
Maybe, about that distance, whatever.
alright. So they're all kind of up to my northeast, about 50 so feet away.
Yep.
Alright, so what Cass is gonna do, what I'm gonna do, is, alright, we gotta try to stop these guys from getting away. So, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to here. I think technically that guy would get an opportunity attack if he wanted to take one on me.
An 18 doesn't
hit.
Yeah. Opportunity attack seem
Just
quite
glances
futile
off my
against
shoulder
you.
plate as I run by. And so
Huzzah.
from here, I'm gonna kind of put my spear into my right hand, hold out the left hand, and I need to do. I'm gonna attempt to freeze the wagons, people, and horse in place by casting Rhymes Binding Ice, which is a 30-foot cone.
Okay.
So that's the area, like kind of the area I could hit.
Okay. Just for full transparency, realistically, one wagon is like yay, and then the other one is like yay. So just so that, because obviously those are not movable on the map, I want to be honest about where they're positioned, so you're not just like aiming and being like, "Oh, you only hit one."
Yeah, I want to try to see, is it possible from where I'm standing to get 2 of the wagons in my cone?
Just barely.
Yeah. So I'm going to cast it. That's a 2nd level spell. And since you're probably not as familiar with it,
Yeah, never heard of this one.
a burst of cold energy emanates from you in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 3d8 cold damage and is hindered by ice formations for 1 minute, or until another creature within reach uses an action to break away the ice. Creature hindered by the ice has its speed reduced to 0. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage and isn't hindered.
What about vehicles?
So, I don't know, I mean, they have hit points and stats. I don't know. That's kind of where it'd be kind of up to you more than anything else. That's why I'm trying to.
Okay.
The spell's designed to slow people down, but I was like, if it can freeze people, why can't it freeze wagons in place?
Okay. I can work with that. So what's the con save? DC what?
It is DC 14.
So the one closest to you fails completely. The wagon wheels start to freeze. Even one of the hooves of the horse, as it's trying to pull away, freezes to the ground. You see one of the swordsmen kind of like poking his head out the back to try and defend himself, starts to freeze in place, because I'm doing it based on the group, not each individual, for the wagon and the people inside. So that entire wagon freezes, kind of comes to a halt. The other wagon does succeed and takes off.
Well, I mean, the wagon and everything in the cones are all taking 18 damage.
Are all taking 18 damage.
Yeah, 18 cold damage.
Okay.
So I don't know what the hit points of a wagon are, but
That's a good question.
that's
Wagon.
so like a cart has an AC of 10, 30 hit points, but you got to roll more than 10 damage to hurt it, and it's kind of the table I found that somebody made up, but
Yeah.
durability.
We're gonna say, I mean, the one wagon, as it's pulling away, some of the back parts of it kind of splinters off, because it was really just kind of hitting the back wheel and side of it, so it kind of splinters. A little bit of frost is left there as that one takes off. Takes 18 cold damage though.
Yeah. Again, it's like I hold out, and my left hand starts to glow like a whitish blue, and then you just see you see those like little flickers of like black lightning, and then all of a sudden this big just cone of ice and frost just shoots out from Cass. They're up to 30 feet away from him. And you guys you've never seen me cast this spell because I've never had the chance to cast it before.
And then the other you see, even as the dude freezes, he's looking very, very hurt. In the wagon that's closest to you, you see him freeze. His skin starts to kind of like blister, as almost as if from like extreme frostbite. That's just onset like that. 18. And then, even though this hurts, I don't like hurting animals, and I've had to describe multiple animals getting hurt. That other horse, it freezes and it kind of like falls, and it is at least knocked unconscious. Let's say that it's just sleeping.
Yeah.
It's just sleeping. Just sleeping.
They got a +1 to their con save for a riding horse. It could have made it.
Not with how low that roll for that entire first wagon was. It was not good. All right. So now, just 3 of the wagons are taken off. There is still one wagon that has a horse set up. It is this one down here. There is a horse attached to it. No one's inside of it. No one went to get it. You can only assume that was probably who this dude who is just ready to die job it was. But there is a wagon there. And now we're back at the top of the order with Luminora.
Okay, so all these 3 wagons to the north, which ones are gone, which ones are there? Sorry, I was trying my absolute best to follow through everything that just happened.
The top 3 are gone. This one is frozen, kind of more in the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
Like there.
And then this one's just kind of sitting there.
So where's the last one at that's still standing? Or still moving?
That's still moving. Yeah, let me find the...
So the one to our right is unmanned, has a horse, but doesn't have a driver. And then the one to our northeast is the one that's frozen in place.
The one that's in the furthest northeast, the red one, is now off map. The one kind of dead center in the map that is now kind of where the first one was. This blue one that was closest to you is the one that's frozen in the middle. Yes.
Okay.
I grabbed a quick map that was supposed to be a reference, and then you guys threw in some shenanigans that I was not prepared for, realizing that I needed to move some carts around. There is a dude sticking out of the back of the frozen wagon. He's looking very hurt. He is frozen in place.
So the red one is moving.
So the 3 in the back, are gone.
That one's gone.
The 3 in the back are gone. The blue and the orange one closest to us are still here.
Gotcha, and the blue one is frozen.
Frozen, kind of in the center of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which one was off?
The other 3 in the back, the red, the green, and like the beige are all gone.
All gone.
Okay, I am going to... This guy in front of me here, he's looking hurt, right? Still?
Oh, so hurt.
Can I, like, hog tie him?
Give me a contested strength check.
Yeah, it's a grapple check.
So
Would grapple be athletics or strength?
Athletics.
Yes, athletics.
Okay. Nat 20?
That's lucky because I rolled a natural 19 on the die. So yeah.
Cool. So that's my action then, right?
Mhm.
Hog.
Yep.
Yep, you have grappled him. He has a speed of 0.
2 in a row. 3 in a row, really.
Okay. Let me... Okay, and last question. Halo of Spores is 5 or 10 feet?
10 feet.
Okay. I'm going to move here.
Then you're breaking your grapple.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, you're holding on to them.
Oh. Okay, then I'm just gonna stay here, and that's it.
Okay. Do you want to use your Halo of Spores?
No.
Okay. All right, then. Then it is going to be the dude that's frozen and the one that is now grappled. So, Schaloan, I need another athletics check, or would it be a strength check to get out of that?
So it's her athletics to hold and their acrobatics or athletics to break.
7.
Rolled a nat 1. It's fine.
Sweet.
He's just held. And then to break out of the ice, what was the?
They have to spend an action.
They have to spend an action, but wasn't there also a check involved? I thought you said
No,
something.
it's just you have to break out of it. They have to spend an action to break themselves out, and then it would be like another action to break the wagon out.
Ah, that's quite the bummer. He is going to spend his action to break free out of the ice, and then he's going to run through the wagon and just jump on the back of the horse, which is still frozen
And is unconscious.
and is unconscious. Forgot about that. He's just trying to run, but he can't get very far. He gets to about here. Cool. Good times. And then that will be Tevin's turn, who is going to run up towards this first wagon. He is going to full on cast Animal Friendship onto the horse that is tied to this wagon to try and gain control of the wagon so that you guys can follow the other wagons as they escape. And that's going to be his turn. So then that is Valerian. That is you.
I find my portion. Touchpad it is. I'm going to move up. I'm going to run after the guy that's kind of running away. And then I am going to take a hand crossbow shot at him.
Okay, fire away.
Let me find it here. An 11.
An 11 misses.
Oof. I'll just quickly fire another one for 24 to hit.
Yeah, that one hits. The 24 hits.
Much better. That does 9 damage, 9 piercing.
Yeah, as he's running away, the first bolt grazes past him. He's kind of stumbling. He just broke out from the ice. Looks over his shoulder just in time to get a second arrow straight into the forehead as he drops down dead.
I blow on my hand crossbow while putting it back in my little hip holster thing.
Fantastic. And then that is... From there it goes to the horses, the carriages, however you want to differentiate them. Basically from Tevin casting Animal Friendship, just that wagon starts to turn around. But he's not going super fast because he wants you guys to join. And then that will be Caster. That's your turn.
I'll walk back over to where Luminora's got the guy grabbed and be like, "Nah, I don't think you're going anywhere." And I'm gonna try to knock him out with my quarterstaff. Non-lethal.
Non-lethal? Okay.
That is a 20 to hit.
20 definitely hits.
That is 11 bludgeoning.
Yeah, you knock him out. It's the point where you hit him so hard that he goes limp. A little bit of blood sprays out of his nose. And you think that you might have hit him too hard, so you have to like lean down and hold your hand in front of his nose to make sure he's still breathing. And then once you realize that he is, you're like, okay, he's alive.
All right, well, I think we probably need to chase after those guys and with what wagon we got. So I want to scoop this guy up and then start heading towards our wagon with where Tevin's swinging around to follow.
All right. Perfect. So you guys all get onto the wagon.
And then once we're in the wagon, I'm going to tie this guy up.
I'm gonna tie him up. And yeah, Tevin starts going and he's like, I've never done this before. I'm really sorry. I'll do my best. And that's where we're gonna end this episode.
High speed chase.
Look,
I can't wait to see what. For those of you that are listening, Dave has been the one that's been naming all of our episodes. So I'm just excited for what he's going to name this next episode, where it starts with a high-speed horse-drawn carriage chase. The Foul and the Furious. Eberron Drift. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. If our listeners here like this and like to support us, I mean, please head over to Instagram, Facebook, even Reddit, Kobolds in the Basement Pod. Find us basically anywhere. If you want to support us and be like a super cool, super special kind of like premium subscriber, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. When you subscribe, let us know that it is us, the Kobolds, that sent you. So that way, when you get some member exclusive merch, it reflects that, which would be pretty sweet. Also, like, share, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to stay up to date on episodes, bonus content, and announcements. Adventurers, do you guys have anything you want to plug?
Not this week.
I mean, if our listeners want to find me, I'm over on Twitter at nutcase168. I'm also on Instagram, though my handle on there is like really hard to remember. But so yeah, if you want to see what I'm up to, you can go check that out.
I got nothing, but make sure you guys all stay hydrated.
That's a good thing to do. If you like other nerdy stuff, check out the All Things Nerd podcast. It's a weekly podcast that I am also a part of, where we talk about movies, TV, comics, books, all sorts of stuff. Find that at www.allthingsnerdpod.com. I think that's it from all of us here. So everyone, you have a good time, and goodbye from Kobolds in the Basement.
See ya.
Cheers.